How's everyone going? You're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to learn how to solve simultaneous equations in one method that's called substitution. So simultaneous equations are the basis for a lot of calculus moving forward, and it's also really important for anything to do with graphical analysis where we're looking at two things at the same time. It also helps out in the financial world where we're looking at modeling and tracking how much we need to sell in order to break even. So these kind of questions look like this. We've got x plus y is equal to 6 and 2x plus y is equal to 10. The important thing is that we are looking for two numbers, so one for x and one for y, that solve both equations at the same time, right? We could have 10 and minus 4, that would solve the first one, but it might not solve the second one, so it's no longer a viable solution. So the important thing and the big trick is, because they are the exact same, what I can do is I know for a fact what y is equal to in the top one. Y there would be equal to 6 minus x. And because I know what y is, and it's in the same as in both, I can sub that answer into the other one, which eliminates the y term, and then I can solve for x. So when we look at these kind of equations graphically, the x and y that we find are what's called a point of intersection. Both of these linear equations will go through that coordinate because they equal the same thing at that time. So there are a couple of steps for this which can get a little bit confusing, but as long as you're neat and you take a little bit of time to kind of scaffold your answer, I'm sure you're going to find these okay. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to label our equations. We've got two of them, and the marker needs to know which one you're talking about. What I always try and do is label the one with a monic term, or the term that's by itself. I try and label that 1. So for this example, that bottom one's going to be number 1, and that top one's going to be number 2. It doesn't have to be that way, it totally doesn't matter. It's just a way for me to know which one I'm dealing with first. So what I'm going to do is solve that monic equation for the variable by itself. So I can see that y is by itself, so I want to know what y is equal to. So I'm minus 2x from this one and minus 2x from this one, which will give me y is equal to 3 minus 2x. And that is true for both equations. That is what y is equal to. Because of this, I can use this information to substitute it into the other equation to find out what x is. But you do have to write down what you're doing. If you just go to the next step straight away, the marker actually does take a mark away. So please make sure that you write down, I'm going to sub my first equation into my second equation. So I'm going to write sub 1 into 2. I know it's silly that I've already got it there, but just to make sure your working follows. So sub 1 into 2, which means that I've now got 3x plus 4, and instead of y, I'm writing 3 minus 2x, and that's equal to 4. So from here, I've just got to solve for x. So 3x plus 12 minus 8x is equal to 4. I've got to collect my like terms and get the non-algebraic terms to the other side. So I've got minus 5x is equal to minus 8. Therefore, x is equal to 8 over 5. So now I've got my variable. I can sub that back in to either one of the equations to find out my y term, because that will be the only unknown. I always try and sub it into the easier equation, just so you do a little bit less work. So for this one, I think that first equation, the one that I labeled number 1, is a little bit easier. So I'm going to sub x into that. So that becomes 2, 8 over 5 plus y is equal to 3. Now to get y by itself, I've got to minus that 16 over 5 onto the other side. So I've got y is equal to 3 minus 16 over 5. In your calculator, that gives you y is equal to negative 1 over 5. So I know these answers look a little bit annoying, but because we've followed that scaffold, we're going to find these all right. The very last step is, because we've spoken about how graphically this coordinate is where these two intersect, We just have to write it down as coordinate points. So we know that x is 8 over 5. So 8 over 5, comma, y is negative 1 over 5. And that is our final answer. So this is how the marker knows that you've got it fully done and they don't have to go searching for the answer. They'll just see that and go, oh yeah, they must have done all the working out correctly. Tick, tick, tick. So if you don't write it as that final coordinate, it does make it a little bit harder to get full marks. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you later. Just a quick reminder, there are some free worksheets linked in the description below, as well as the notes from this video. If you've got a second, please like, comment, and subscribe to Quick Math for more content every day. Thanks so much. Have a good one.